Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video today, I'm going to be talking about how to design a safe and stimulating space for your childcare building, okay? So if you are a childcare owner and now you have your building and you're like, okay, how am I gonna deck this bad boy out? Like, how am I gonna lay this building out? What are some rooms that I must have? What are some things that I might can get away with? Like, these are all the things I'm going to be talking about in this video today. So if that is you, make sure you stay tuned to the end of this video so you can get some tips and trips as you design your childcare building. Let's get into it. Back to my channel. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about when you're thinking about designing your childcare program is look at the full picture. Okay, that's the first thing I'm going to say. Look at the full picture, and you want to decide, the first thing is, how many classrooms am I going to have in this building? That is going to be one of the first things you want to consider, because classrooms are of the priority. Why are classrooms of the priority? Because you want to ask yourself, am I having infants? Am I having toddlers? Am I having school agers? Am I having preschoolers? Am I having in between? Am I having a mixed group, right? So first rule of thumb is consider, how many classrooms am I going to have? Once you think about how many classrooms you're going to have, then you want to decide, where do I want these classrooms to be? Okay, so you really want to think about, am I creating hallway spaces for the parents to come in? Am I having a foyer area? Like, all of these great good things. Do I want the infants or the toddlers to be more towards the front of my building? Or do I want the infants and toddlers to be more towards the back of the building? Do I want the school agers to be more towards the front of the building or towards the back of the building, right? So you want to consider how many classrooms you're going to have. And once you think about how many classrooms you want to have, then you want to break up and ask yourself, especially for my larger based childcare programs. So let's say I'm going to have toddlers. Okay, am I gonna have 2 toddler classrooms, or 1 toddler classrooms, or 4 toddler classrooms? How many of each age group are you going to have? Because that's really important, because that takes us into the furnishing of the classrooms, right? Once you decide on how many classrooms you're gonna have, then you're gonna lay that building out according to where you are going to put those classrooms. The second thing I'm gonna say is, another major important thing when you're thinking about your building layout is, think about how many bathrooms you already have, right? So how many bathrooms are you gonna have? Are you gonna have a bathroom per classroom? Okay. Are you gonna have a bathroom where maybe it's a bathroom and 2 classrooms share that bathroom, or it's just like a common area and the teacher has to line her kids up, leave out her classroom and go to that bathroom? Think about where your bathrooms are and think about the functionality of that, because diaper changing is of a necessity on a regular. Right? Children using the bathroom on a regular is something that's important, and when you got to leave out the classroom, that then trickles down into our ratio and supervision. So you really want to look at where the bathrooms are located and the functionality of those bathrooms, and running water for the functionality of those classrooms and those children and staff. So think about where your bathrooms are as a second rule of thumb, and more importantly, not only just your bathrooms, but are the staff going to be sharing the same bathrooms that the student has, based on how big your building is? So these are things you want to consider when you're thinking about where the bathrooms are, because that's very important for the functionality of the staff and the students in that building. Another thing we're going to talk about as we're thinking about our building layout that is super important, guys, is, where's the kitchen? Okay, where's the kitchen and where's the storage for kitchen? So I see a lot of childcare programs, ours included, is your kitchen may be totally somewhere else, but classrooms have like their own cabinetry. They have their own sinks in there to do other things that you need, to store certain things that you need. But you really want to consider, like, where is your kitchen? So I'm going to give you guys a good example. Our kitchen at one of our location sites is upstairs, but the refrigerator is on the first floor. For the functionality of when the food people come in and the food program comes in, that refrigerator was way too big to lug up 13 flights of steps or lug down 13 flights of steps. So you really want to consider, where is the kitchen going to be located, is because it goes down there. Like, it's important to know where your kitchen is going to be, what your storage is going to look like. You know, in that building, are you going to have cabinetry? Are you going to have like those I call them like the aluminum shelves you ever see, where you got all your different containers for snacks and food and paper towels and bleach and all that great good stuff? So like, where is your kitchen going to be in your storage? Because that's something that's really important that the health department looks for when they come in, and what's going on in that designated space for your kitchen usage. And then I'm going to talk about, which is really my favorite part, I did this with one of the clients, but one of my favorite things, guys, is your front. Okay, this is a good part. So you really want to think about what is your front walk-in area going to be like. And I'm going to make this disclaimer, guys. Do not get caught up in, the way that your foyer area looks on day one. Let me tell you something. You're going to redo it again, get some more money in your budget, redo it again, get some nice illuminating signs, do it again. Like, you're going to grow with your space. So don't feel like when you initially get your building, oh my God, I got to be the best. I got to have the top of the top. Again, money is tight. It's a part of the process. So when you're thinking about your building layout, you want to ask yourself, as you're in that building, do I want parents, and like, how are they getting to classrooms? Okay. Think of the travel in that space. When someone first walks into your building, maybe you want to have a chill area, or a place where people can fill out applications or do tours. Maybe you want to have a coffee section in a coffee area for parents that are coming in. Maybe you want to have a stroller drop-off section where strollers go, because the strollers can't fit in the classroom. Maybe you want to have like a front desk area. Like, this is the desk area, especially if your building doesn't have an office. Like, if you can't have an office, like maybe your building isn't big enough to have a full-fledged office. I know one of our buildings are really small and they can't have like a whole office. So when you walk in that desk area, that is the office. Okay, so you want to ask yourself, when somebody walks in, what do they see? When somebody walks in, what's going on in that first area? You want to think of the functionality of that walk-in rest of you area. I can share with you guys plenty of times before that our walk-in area has changed since COVID. It's changed before COVID. It's changed after COVID. Like, we've built up an extra wall, put in a whole plexiglass, like plenty of things that have changed in our building. So look at the functionality of that building, because that is what you're starting to create as systems in your business, okay? Hey guys, I am super excited. I had to hop in here really quickly and give you guys this announcement, okay? So the CEO Circle, which is our growing networking community for all aspiring entrepreneurs out there and small business owners. If you are a female that is looking to grow, start, build, or even organize your childcare program for success, make sure that you check us out every single week, where we meet live on Zoom and in our private Facebook group for aspiring and motivated entrepreneurs just like you. The CEO Circle, you get 2 coaches, so it's not just me. It's my mom and I, who is also my business partner. We lead up and we host every single week masterclass for question and answers, book clubs, and so much more, because we focus on the whole woman and not just the bag, right? We gotta be well balanced out here. So if you are looking for a thriving community, a sisterhood of other motivated women just like you, just looking to take their business from A all the way to Z as you grow and learn in this childcare industry, make sure that you check out the CEO Circle and our monthly membership, and make sure you try out our 14-day free trial. Let's get into it. Visit www.educatedmindz.com. Another area that we definitely want to consider in our layout is going to be your play space. Super important. If you have a building that has a play space indoors, where is that play space going to be? Is that the space that maybe is one of your bigger rooms? Is that the space that's maybe one of your lesser bigger rooms? So what room is going to be your indoor play space? And if you have an outdoor play space, great. So it doesn't take away from your numbers and your capacity. Where is that and how do they get there? I think that's something that's super important to consider in your building layout. As you're kind of like laying out your actual building, is your designated play space. And my last area you want to consider as you're doing your building layout, guys, is going to be your team. Okay, and I'm gonna give an open disclaimer because every building layout is set up different, so you want to consider, are you having a staff and bathroom with the kids or without the kids? Also, when you're thinking about your team, are you having an office? Okay, is there a space as you create all these rooms and meet all your vision and maximize your capacity? Is there a space for you to have an actual director's office or an actual manager or team office? Are you going to have that in that area? Another thing you want to consider is, where are the teachers going to take breaks? Okay, so they got to take breaks away from the children, out of the classroom, obviously, but where is it going to happen? Is it going to be in the same kitchen? There's already a kitchen area. Maybe you just create like a corner for them. Are you going to have a whole separate room where they actually take their lunch at, because your building is big and you can afford to do that? So where are they going to take lunch breaks, and where are you going to get the job done as far as paperwork, for the office. That's definitely something you want to consider, because the way that the building again is laid out, if you don't take nothing else from this video, take away layout, take away functionality. You may say, oh, okay, like I remember when I first started, I wanted my office in the front. I was like, oh no, I want to be at the front when somebody comes in, when the bell rings. I want to be able to see the kids over there, because we had like open concept. So it's like, oh, I want to be able to see the kids over there. I want when somebody comes in to be able to walk. But let me tell y'all something. The more I got into being a director, the more I was in my building every day, all day, which I've always been in the building every day, all day from the mere jump, I realized I don't get work done when my office isn't right in the front and I'm right there accessible to the teachers, or it's like a half a wall. I realized that because the doorbell's constantly ringing, the phone's constantly ringing, the teachers can see me, I didn't have no privacy, like it was all those things. So I began to realize, like, guess what? I'm gonna knock down this half a wall, I'm gonna open this up and make this classroom, and I'm gonna find an area in the back, right? I'm gonna run my cameras or run my technology to the back, because I realized that's where I actually get work done. That's where I have privacy to have meetings at, or do interviews, or any of those great good things in between running a day-to-day business of a childcare operation. So hopefully you enjoyed this video and more where they came from. Leave me some comments down below. Hit that thumbs up button if you like this video, because that lets me know, and obviously that pushes the algorithm so you guys can see more great videos from Educated Minds. Until next time.